Walt Disney's experimental prototype community of tomorrow, or Epcot, has been on the downswing ever since its reimagining, originally codenamed Project Gamma, was announced back at 2019's D23 Expo. Since that time, initially announced offerings have been reduced, and what has been installed either doesn't function correctly or has been, as one publication has put it, an embarrassment. Now, the Land Pavilion, also known as the land that Disney forgot, has suffered from a ceiling collapse after having just dealt with a sewage leak in and around the same area. Let's talk about just what is happening to Epcot here on That Park Place.
I'm not sure if we're fixing the ROI of this park or whether or not we're just trying to keep it out of negative ROI. Epcot ceiling collapses over guest walkway in same area as recent sewage leak. Marvin hates it when we bring up editorial on the channel here, but I take issue with Epcot being spelled as if it is a word and not an initialization. I'm okay with there being no periods in Epcot, but the lowercase PCOT, I don't know. I might have to talk with him about this one. This one hurts my heart. Well, let's keep going. It seems trouble continues to brew at Epcot in the Land Pavilion just weeks after a sewage leak forced the temporary closure of Soarin around the world and flooded parts of the pavilion. A new issue has emerged. This time, a section of the ceiling in the Soarin queue has collapsed over a guest walkway. The direct aftermath, complete with a stunned cast member observing the wreckage, can be viewed in the player down below. Look at that right there. That has fallen from the ceiling. And that's large pieces of the ceiling that have fallen down right there, right outside of Soarin.
You can see right there. Huge problems right here. I don't know what is going on with the Land Pavilion and all of this. Obviously, we did have the sewage leak recently. And from what we understand, because we had reporters actually down there to kind of look at the damage and everything like that, you can actually see right here in these images. Walking up to this, this was the fix. Show ready, apparently.
Yeah.
But notable about this, when that reporter was actually down there, they were actually saying, "It smells like sewage." there is a fragrance here, which I mean, how is this the show standard, Jonas? I mean, what is happening to our beloved Epcot and Land Pavilion?
I really don't know, and I think the fact that Soarin is here is probably the only thing that has saved the land from being destroyed at this point. Living with the Land, I don't think that's a ride that they actually respect for this company here. I think it is a ride they should respect. It is a ride that I thought was lame when I was a kid, but it's pretty great. You know, there are some that you. And when I say it was lame, I'm insulting my younger self here when I say this. No one go out and say that I'm trying to get rid of a ride here. But this right here is okay. They've done a decent job covering it up until they can fix it. I wonder how long it's going to stay in the state that it's in. From the article, I'm reading Marvin's words here. To put this in context, let's revisit the previous major issue at the Land Pavilion, the sewage leak earlier this month. That incident saw water pouring from the ceiling near the entrance of Soarin around the world, flooding the guest pathways between the ride's entrance and exit. Reports from the scene suggest the water was contaminated, with cast members responding swiftly to contain the situation. That is contaminated water. That is sewage. So that's pretty nasty. I'm gonna say that's not something that you expect to see when you go to Disney. Although we've heard from several people within Epcot that the sewage smell is not isolated to the land at this point. The sewage smell might also be somewhere around Moana, Journey of Water. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that water in that attraction. I'm sure there's some kind of purification system or whatever. But this is something where I think that there were indications that they were aware of the smell because they were pumping some kind of other smell into this area. I don't know. Did they do orange blossoms at Soarin around the world the way they did in Soarin over California?
I don't think they use an orange blossom smell. I think it's for the island section there. I think there's a spray effect for smells. I think for when it flies over the Taj Mahal, there's like a flower effect, and then when it's over the African elephants, there's like a grass effect. But I don't think it's orange anymore.
Right. And then the other issue with Soarin' over Epcot right now is that they've now updated it to include World Celebration Gardens and the lights from World Celebration Gardens in that it's not documentary at this point. It is a fictitious version of Epcot where all of those lights work. So this is so strange to me. They're putting 60 they said they're putting $60 billion over the course of 10 years into repairing these parks. I personally turbocharging the parks. I have yet to see the fruit of that. There are a lot of indications. There are a lot of things under repair right now. It doesn't seem like it's necessarily Soarin' that's getting those repairs. So I don't know, Vash. How long do you think it's going to take before the Disney company is back up to the standards that we should expect them to be at?
That's the thing. I mean, we're not even on a pathway to get there. That's the issue. I mean, we just covered the carriage house once again. That obviously there were sandbags in front of it, and we also updated that video to include that fact that they were taking it down for I think a month or so in order to redo the drainage and foundation issues that have cropped up because of that. I was hearing from Fresh Baked that the pressure washing apparently was kind of how they were notified that there was a drainage issue associated with that.
This is actually something I heard about months ago, that I knew this was going to happen, that they were going to put these walls up because they're having an issue with drainage. When they built it, they're having a hard time building things, remembering how water flows away from things. So when they hose everything down at night, the water's collecting and it's not draining properly, so they have to fix some of the concrete around there so that it'll drain okay. That'll be honest.
And for what we understand, 10-year project? I mean, that's what Kim Irvine said about that. You know, it's like, if you can't get that right, where are we at this point? That's a gift shop, okay? And we're supposed to, take your word on Monsters Incorporated and the replacement of Rivers of America and all that. I just really haven't seen anything from Imagineering that we're even getting to a point where we can overcome these issues.
Right.
So cultural shifts usually happen 10, 15 years. I mean, that's kind of realistically where we're at, I think.
I think that's a fair point. And they've gone from small barricades with sandbags there, and those small barricades and sandbags might still be there. But if they are, they're behind construction walls at the Haunted Mansion carriage house, which they said they had been working on for how long?
A decade. That's what
a decade.
that's what
that's what they came up with. Something that I'm going to say this because it's Disney's standard that we're holding them to. It messes with the forced perspective of the area. It makes the carriage house look huge. It looks weird next to Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and it makes Tiana's Bayou Adventure look smaller. It makes the Haunted Mansion look smaller because they didn't follow the rules that they used in setting up Disneyland. And you can say, oh, it's fine. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Well, they also used AI art and they said, oh, well, that was just a temporary placeholder that was changed out within 2 days. So, okay, I think the blank spot would have been better.
Yeah, it was good enough for the one day that you got to see it, is what they're saying to you. It was going to be there forever. Don't worry. Your $200 ticket. Trust me, we were going to make up on this promise just in due time. Trust us, folks. What have you given us to trust you in the last 5 years? Sorry, go ahead.
No. It's just the ticket prices indicate that they believe this is a premium theme park experience, but their comments say that it is not. They would just like to figure out a way to sell you more merch, please. I don't mean to be negative on all of this here. Soarin', by the way, is a breathtaking attraction. It was a very long time before I got to ride on Soarin' because I was a spoiled Floridian and I said, I'll go see it the next time I go to Epcot. Well, I was married with kids by the time that I actually got around to seeing Soarin'. So it was 10 years after that premiered and it took my breath away. Amazing, really well done attraction. So I would like some respect put on that ride. I would like for them to fix everything. It's not like it's a $200 billion company or something. So Cannon Barnes for $5. Epcot is the park Disney, the company, didn't want to build, but it was the park Walt wanted built. Yes, it was. That was one where they actually had ideas for two parks, famously a World Showcase and Epcot, and they sliced them in the middle, put them together, and made, Future World, not to be confused with Tomorrowland, and then the World Showcase. Future World was my favorite. Probably spent more time in the World Showcase, though. Epcot has a special place in my heart, but that's a different version of Epcot.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.